All right, howdy everyone. So what we're looking at today is the results of the Graphics Lab scan or capture we did of the model Bianca. And what I have up on my screen right now is some of the results that they've given to us. This is basically the high resolution geometry that they captured of her face. And based on this is where we get all the other data. So here she is. You can see that there's quite a bit of detail here. Zoom in close and you can see that there's, catches all the little pores on her cheeks here, small little wrinkles in her lips, brows, eyebrows, everything. So it's really quite a bit of detail. And if I zoom in close here, you'll actually be able to see the individual polygons, just to see how dense this mesh actually is. So it's a little tough because I only get 4 frames per second because it's trying to render this monstrous thing with all these millions of polys. So that gives you some sense of the density of it. So basically, based on this data from the scan, we can then generate something that's actually usable in the game engine. This is too high of density to be used. So what we do is we actually create a low-res version of this that we can actually show in the game engine. And that's what you see here on the right. Obviously, the number of polygons are much less than on the one on the left. And then we extrapolate from the high-res scan texture maps, which we put on the low-res to give it as close a look as possible to the high one. I'm just going to hide the high-res scan, and then I'm going to show the low-res scan with the data on it. So here you can see we're also getting some color in here now. So pretty good match to our model Bianca. If we zoom in, you can see that there's that same detail from the high mesh is translated here onto the low mesh. There's a lot of really minute pore detail and skin detail, the same detail in the lips, in the brows. So really this is a really high fidelity data. This is not quite how it will look in engine. This is just rendered in Maya. When it would actually go in the engine, we would use a shader developed by the Graphics Lab, which gives a little more of the appearance of real skin. This is kind of plasticky looking right now, a little too shiny. And what the shader will do is give it a lot more of that sort of glow and the scattering of light that real skin has. So you can see the mesh on the left here with the texture, and then these are actually two-dimensional textures that are then wrapped onto it. So you can see that texture here with kind of the outline of the mesh overlaid on top of it. And there's actually a couple different texture maps that are layered on top of each other to give some of the effects we see over here. So there's just the normal color here. We also have a map for the specular information of how that property of light works, and also a bump map which gives the detail in the pores and gives that illusion. Right, so that's basically our preliminary work with the Graphics Lab data. We'll be refining this further, working on the in-game shader, also looking at strategies for filling in all these missing areas that the scan data didn't capture, as well as working on things that weren't in the scan, like eyeballs and the teeth, the interior of the mouth, and also the hair.